This is Trailers from Hell, and I'm Mick Garris. And I'm going to talk about a film that I did early in my career that some may feel was folly and others might think was opportunity. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, of course, is one of the great films of all time. In 1990, Universal gave me the opportunity to direct Psycho 4. Anthony Perkins, the star, had directed Psycho 3, which was not well received and was not successful at the box office. He wanted to direct Psycho 4, but the studio wanted me instead. So it was an interesting time with the director of Critters 2 directing Tony Perkins in Psycho 4, the beginning. Probably a lot of people would have turned down the opportunity to direct Psycho 4 and feel that they're stepping into the shoes of the master. I thought a lot of the onus of that had been taken away by the fact that there had been two sequels in between, and there'd been 30 years in between Psycho and Psycho 4 The Beginning. It also was written by Joe Stefano, who wrote the screenplay for the original Psycho. The executive producer was Hitchcock's first AD, Hilton Green, on the original Psycho. We used a lot of the original sets. Tony Perkins was back to play Norman Bates. And there was a lot of verisimilitude and a lot of respect for the original movie, which is one of the greats. I also chose to use a very high element of color and to make it visually very much not like the original Psycho. Try and give it almost a Technicolor feel in opposition to the black and white that Hitchcock had used. But I didn't know why no one had used one of the greatest scores ever in the two preceding sequels, the unbelievable Bernard Herrmann score for Psycho, which he described as black and white music because there was no horns or percussion, just strings. So we actually reorchestrated that music. I met Henry Thomas for the first time when he was 18 years old and living in Texas. I went to see him about playing a young Norman Bates in this. And he was amazing. It was my first opportunity to meet him. He had played Elliot in E.T. earlier and was quite a revelation, and we've worked several times since. The real revelation was Olivia Hussey as Mother. Beautiful and sexy and terrific. Perkins had a lot of issues to deal with. He was the first movie star I'd ever worked with. It was challenging for me. This guy knew the character better than anybody, but we would have discussions on how it would be approached. Norman had become kind of a campy character in Psycho 2 and 3, and I wanted to make sure we retained the drama of it and keep the seriousness of it. And so I think Perkins did an amazing job in this, and I'm really proud of this movie that could have been very embarrassing.